The Heilwald Loophole is probably one of the most mysterious video games created out there. The story follows an unknown person waking up in a storage room inside a German hospital and being confronted by its staff, who proceeds to knock us unconscious and steal our liver. However, somehow we are able to rewind time by stepping into the surgical lights and go back to our original position. From there, we can change how we interact with the staff to see different outcomes. The story is confusing to understand, but the sound design is phenomenal, and the characters are very intriguing. In fact, the game mostly relies on our interaction with the staff of Heilwald Clinic. The era during which the game takes place is unknown, but judging from the design, it appears to be set in the 1960s, a time during which new medical discoveries were being made. At the center of these discoveries is Dr. Josef Randolph, who succeeded Friedrich Erlenmeyer as the chief doctor of Heilwald Klinikum. Dr. Randolph is the first doctor that the player meets when starting the game, and is the main person behind the atrocities that occur in the clinic. Similar to the employees in Outlast, he is a mad doctor who is very egotistical and narcissistic. The loophole phenomenon was probably started by him, considering his words at the prologue that no one really dies at Heilwald. This implies that he invented the loophole so that he could forever experiment on the staff as well as the patients admitted there. However, there was one anomaly, the player, who somehow entered the loophole from the outside, which is why Dr. Randolph does not recognize us from the beginning of the game. Now, how did Dr. Randolph start the loophole? We are not really sure, but we can assume it has something to do with cult-like ritualism or black magic of sorts. Perhaps he experimented with demons, which would explain why most of the patients and staff members are mutated to the core and look like monsters. For example, there is the chef Edward Sauer, who is stuck inside a boiling pot forever, doomed to serve his own flesh to others. There are other characters as well, such as the trash collector, who eats trash to provide us with important lore regarding the clinicum. Nurse Helen, despite not being mutated, has super speed to tend to her patients. She is probably the only one with a heart of gold, which is why her abilities are not as demonic as those of others, such as Nurse Anne and Nurse Sabine, both of whom are sadistic and torture their patients. There's also another nurse named Astrid, who was skeptical of Dr. Randolph's work and wanted to leave the clinic but instead got deformed into an iron lung machine, forever trapped inside the clinic. Additionally, there's Wolfram, a doctor assigned to the bathhouse, who values cleanliness above all else, to the point that he has been fired over being abusive. Then there's Dr. Hauser, who values knowledge more than anything else and keeps it locked up inside his library to prevent Dr. Randolph from getting his hands on it. Oh, and there's also this neglected patient who defecates wherever he goes. Finally, we have the ominous voice, which is most definitely the voice of Friedrich Erlenmeyer. He was probably murdered by Randolph and buried somewhere in the clinic, most likely inside a well. This is the reason why, once you unplug the well, you can hear his voice guiding the player on what to do to escape this nightmare, which is to lure the disfigured Randolph into the loophole to make him fall down and break the cycle. Now the main question arises, who is the player? Well, there are a lot of theories online suggesting that we are some secret spy sent by the president to uncover the secrets of the clinic. However, I think that we may be Dr. Friedrich Erlenmeyer himself. Remember that the trash collector said that he mysteriously retired after 34 years of service, and there was no portrait of him or any of the previous doctors who worked in the clinic to honor them. Considering that the loophole prevents the deaths of everyone within Heilwald Klinikum, there is a possibility that a variant of Friedrich may have been brought back through time through the loophole. This would explain why nobody recognizes him, and why the ominous voice guides him. It is his own self-consciousness speaking to him and guiding him throughout the clinic. This is all I have for today's video. If you guys want a part 2 for the Heilwald theories, then please like and subscribe, and I'll try my best to make another one. It's not easy making videos and then getting lost in the YouTube algorithm. Most of my views come from search results, and only when big YouTubers like Markiplier upload videos on the same topics. It's honestly frustrating to see your once thriving channel go down like that, but it is what it is, I guess. See you guys in the next one. Bye.